Well, hi there, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for my little cleanse presentation. I've had a little bit of a snafu with the technology, but that seems to be the way it goes for me. I have a little slide presentation planned for you. We're going to be talking about what a spring cleanse is all about. Maybe you think it requires a special cloth or some special tools, but actually you have everything really in you to do a successful spring cleanse. And I'm going to talk to you about what it is and why I really think that you should do it. Oh, great. So I'm so glad that you're here. So let me go on to my next slide. Again, I had a little bit of a snafu, so things aren't working out exactly the way that I had planned. Let's see if you can see the second slide. That would be good. Oh, good. Okay, here it is. So what is a cleanse? A cleanse is a mindful approach to eating, moving, and living. It's giving yourself permission to explore your health and your wellness goals. And, just like if you were building a business, you would want to have an idea of what your outcome is. What is it that you're trying to build? And it's the same thing with your health. So if you're interested, for instance, in improving your sleep, you'd have to first acknowledge that you don't sleep very well. And maybe you need to lose a little bit of weight, or maybe you're dealing with a lot of body pain. Maybe you want to improve your relationships or get more exercise. So you just give yourself a mindful approach to taking care of those things. A cleanse is done for a brief period of time. I've done them for just a few days, up to a month. And every time I do it, it's a different experience. But what I'd like to introduce you to are some new tools and some new resources, maybe like dry brushing or juicing or eating more plant-based foods, or just getting a little bit more spiritual, spending a little bit more time with meditation and mindfulness. And so it's different from a diet, right? So when you're dieting, it's usually about eliminating foods from your usual diet, and you're using willpower so that you won't eat those foods. Well, I have to tell you, willpower requires a lot of energy, and most people are not successful at willpower alone. And then, you end up failing and you feel really bad. So this isn't about that. This is about being joyous and about celebrating your own true health and your potential. So again, 7 days to about a month with some new tools and resources. And maybe some of those tools and resources will align with you after the cleanse is finished. You're also going to be repairing and resetting your mind, your body, and your spirit, because it really is about holistic wellness. A cleanse is a time of being present, of caring for yourself wherever you're at in your journey. And each cleanse can bring you to a new place of clarity and focus. And I hope that you can hear me. Oh, good. So you're going to be making your health a higher priority. And as women, we're always taking care of someone else. So now it's the time for you to take care of yourself and just make yourself a priority. And again, your family can deal with that for about 7, 10 days, a month. They won't perish. They'll be fine. So the first thing that I want to do is give you an opportunity to celebrate where you're at. And so I know that all of us have been dealing with sheltering in place, and so it's been a really strange time for a lot of us, but maybe there's been an opportunity for you to clean your house, clean out some closets, go through some old photographs. Maybe you've been getting out and going for a walk every day. Maybe you've been exploring some new ways to keep in touch with family and friends, like through Zoom calls and things. And so all of that is to be celebrated, especially now because life does feel like it's a little bit tricky. So I want you to really give yourself a big warm hug for being able to come here and being with me today. So we're all healing, and we need that right now. Actually, the whole planet needs to be healed. So I wanted to show you this image. This is, maybe it's a little bit hard to see on your screen, but this was from my time becoming a health coach through the integrative nutrition program. And what they did was they broke up aspects of your life into these categories. And if you can see, it's spirituality, creativity, finances, career, education, health, physical activity, home cooking, home environment, relationships, social life, and joy. And they called these the primary foods. And they said once these areas of your life were satisfied, then people were less likely to find their way to binge eating or eating bad foods or overeating. And so the more satisfied we can be with our life and these aspects that you see on the screen in front of you, the healthier you are overall. You're welcome to take a screenshot of this circle of life image, and I'm going to go on to the next slide and show you what you can do with that. But take a screenshot of this if you can and print it out at a later date. And what I'm going to ask you to do is plot what your level of satisfaction is with regards to each one of these aspects of life. So the closer you plot your dot on the line between the center of the circle and the outside of the circle, the closer that dot is to the outside of the circle, the more satisfied you are with that particular aspect of your life. So in this example, spirituality scores high, social life scores high, home improvement does as well. And so this particular person has spent time and energy cultivating those aspects of their life. But other areas are a little bit lacking: creativity, health, physical activity. So I would say that these were areas that this person could spend a little bit more time and energy cultivating activities that would bring them closer to a level of satisfaction with regards to these aspects. And that's really what I think a spring cleanse is all about. It's just giving yourself some time to pay attention to areas of your life that have been lacking for one reason or another. Spring is the perfect time to tap into a cleanse. It's the season of growth and energy. You can see it all around you in nature. And, well, frankly, your nature too. In the winter, we hunker down and we eat heavier foods and we're more sedentary. But our days in the spring are longer. We have more sunlight and we have a physical calling to purge. Maybe that's why you clean out that closet, clean out the garage. And hey, why don't you clean out your liver while you're at it? And because of COVID-19, we've been living with an extension of winter. We're staying home, we're being a bit more sedentary perhaps, and I can't think of a better time than now to do a cleanse, and I really can't think of a better reason to do it because we've been dealing with COVID. So a lovely way to embrace a spring cleanse is to enjoy the foods of the season. I would recommend that you eat lighter and cleaner so that you can help the organ of detoxification, which is your liver, and other organs like your lungs and your skin and your colon just do their job of eliminating accumulated toxins. A spring cleanse is a time to hit the reset button, and it moves you closer to your optimal health. It improves your body's ability to handle and dispose of toxic substances. Cleansing brings you to a new level of comfort in your own body. And I invite you to explore my 2-day cleanse. This is a freebie, it's just a little gift, and it's got several of my very favorite recipes for you to be enjoying now. These are seasonal foods that your body just really knows what to do with. It really helps to fuel up your cells. It gives your skin like a radiant glow. It gives you energy, and when you have energy, you sleep better, and when you have energy, your body doesn't crave foods that are unhealthy, so you're just giving yourself some super nutrients. So this is about eating food that's alive. It gives your body the fuel to repair and rejuvenate, so you will have more energy and a clearer mind. And you know what? Not everybody is on that weight loss journey, and so that's fine. If you are, this is a perfect thing to do, but if you aren't, it's still an awesome way to take your body through this process, because even people that are thin can end up having accumulations of fat, which stores your toxins around your organs, and that's not healthy for anybody. And if you're needing to lose a little weight, if that's your desire, then doing a cleanse is really a lovely way to go about it. See, toxins are stored in your fat cells. Your body doesn't quite know what to do with toxins, so it encapsulates it in fat, and it stores it in areas of the body that tend to be a little bit fattier, like your endocrine system, for example. And so that's why it's a little troublesome for that particular system of the body, which manages your hormones. So let's move on to, oh yeah, this is one of my favorite images of the liver. I just love how clear this is. So the liver is the primary organ of detoxification. And you can take your hand and put it right underneath the rib cage on the right side of your body. And you can find your liver, and you can see it's got these big lobes, the right lobe and the left lobe. It's an enormous organ. And I read recently that if for some reason you lost 90% of your liver, it would still work. It's a hugely resilient organ, and thank goodness we really need it to be, because every nutrient and every toxin passes through the portal vein into the liver. So it constantly gets rid of harmful substances in your body. It's the primary site for poison control. And when everything is working well for you, these toxins and other nutrients, of course, come through the liver and get filtered through 6 exit pathways. And then those toxins are intertwined with bile and other substances that make it less volatile to your body. And those compounds find their way into your bloodstream, where they're eventually eliminated through your body. And that's when everything is going well. But unfortunately, the liver can get clogged up either in the entry of the liver in that portal, or in the exits, one of those 6. And each of those six exit pathways is responsible for dealing with different types of substances. And if one of them gets clogged up, it kind of backs things up into the liver. The liver eliminates the following types of things: heavy metals, that could be things from, oh gosh, cosmetics, it can be from dentistry, it can be from our environment. Estrogen, so your body makes estrogen, but it can end up becoming into the liver, and if the liver is overwhelmed with dealing with other issues, the estrogen actually backs out back into the body where it recirculates. Histamine is also eliminated through the liver, so if you find yourself dealing with allergies and asthma, then perhaps doing a cleanse could help your body tolerate the removal of histamine in a more productive way. The liver eliminates caffeine, so that's something that I actually had to get rid of in my diet. I do love the way it smells, and I have caffeine envy every now and then, but it really wasn't working for me. It was even 1 cup of coffee in the morning would keep me awake at night, so it wasn't really working for me. Let's see, what else did I want you to know about the liver? Oh yeah, it also eliminates thyroid hormones. So again, if the liver gets backed up, those thyroid hormones can kind of back into the body. It also helps you get rid of excess neurotransmitters, so that's coming from the brain. So it's a busy little place, and you want it to be squeaky clean. So this slide just talks to you about some of the issues that can result as in effect because the liver is overwhelmed. So you can come away with hormonal imbalances. So these could lead you to things like fertility issues, fibroids, which are no fun. You can end up with dry skin. I found that interesting. The liver nourishes and moistens the skin. So when the blood that nourishes the skin is compromised, you end up with dry and itchy skin. Also, your eyesight can be a window, if you will, into the health of the liver. So the eye abnormalities that you might discover are things like cataracts, glaucoma, inflammation, red eyes, night blindness. So the root cause could actually be in your liver. And joint pain. The body stores toxins around your joints, and I read specifically around your knees. So if you're dealing with knee pain, perhaps doing a cleanse could actually help you eliminate some of that body-wide pain. Accelerated aging and fatigue, sure, because you're dealing now with oxidative stress and a quicker turnaround of your cells. So ideally you want your cells to live about 4 months or so. And if they're not well, if your cells are unhealthy, then your cells will commit something called cell suicide, and those cells will turn over quicker. And I've heard that it's like a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. You want your cells to maintain nice integrity through that 4-month period of time, and if they die quicker, then the integrity of the cell is not as good. So the cell you make now won't be as good as the cell that you had before. Stored fat. Again, I mentioned that toxins are encapsulated in fat and it gets stored around the body. So you do want to manage the elimination of those toxins by losing some of that fat. One that's not on here is estrogen-based breast cancers, which I think are pretty alarming to consider. Again, estrogen is something that's made in your body, but if it doesn't make its way through the liver and out its elimination pathway, it finds its way back into the liver. So again, many toxins are fat soluble and they accumulate in fatty parts of the body where they can remain there for years. So places like the brain and your endocrine system, which are fatty organs, are common places for fat to accumulate. So where does all this fat come from? I'm sorry, where do all these toxins come from? The toxins can come from things that we're surrounded by every single day. Our liver is just bombarded. So here's quite a few images, but let's go through them together. So makeup is really a dirty thing to put on your face, on your skin. It's full of preservatives and those heavy metals that interfere with your thyroid. They cause allergies, skin irritations, and even some forms of cancer. And I actually have a really lovely resource for you if you're interested in making the switch to natural cosmetics. I have a friend that works for Beauty Counter, and I would recommend that you check her out. So let me know if there's something I can help you with there. Matter of fact, why don't you take some time here as you're listening to the presentation. If you have any questions, go ahead and write those out for me. I'd even like to know what some of your celebrations are. What are some of the things that you've done during COVID-19 that you think you might like to continue once we start coming back into, I'm going to use my air quotes, a more normal life? So again, makeup is a really tricky thing because it's just got lots of chemicals in it, and women are exposed to many, many toxins in our environment, and the things that we use in personal care products are especially dirty. Let's see, the other one that I have here is sugar and food additives, artificial flavorings, preservatives, again, basically chemicalized foods, which can lead to autoimmune conditions, and certainly sugar sensitivity is an autoimmune issue. So what I would recommend, again, is going through a period of time where you're taking in other foods. It's not like I'm saying don't eat sugar, don't eat these foods that are on my naughty list. I'm just saying let's crowd them out with foods that are very nutritious. And it's interesting what happens because the bacteria in your gut ends up being fed in a different way. So the good bacteria in your gut ends up getting fed with the good foods that you're eating, and the bad bacteria that you're feeding will be diminished because you're not eating those kinds of foods anymore. The other image on here are cell phones, and there's a concern of cellular damage from cell phones, but I also think that this is an image that resonates with me because I think we're so heavily influenced by the media, and I think doing a cleanse can also give you permission to maybe turn off that social media for a little while and just come into a truer sense of your own priorities and your own future, your own sense of what life is like for you rather than being influenced by other people's issues. And then we have pesticides, right? So even if you're eating healthy or you think you are, we have toxins that are coming from other areas that are hard to control. And so pesticides and other environmental toxins, it's a huge category. So of course, being on a cleanse, I would encourage you to buy organic. And so now's not the time to skimp. And pharmaceuticals, of course, over-the-counter medications, antacids are full of heavy metals. So you need to get to the source of that digestive issue. Not only are the drugs that you take a problem for your liver and your overall health, but I read that it turns out that all of the drugs that other people are taking are a problem because their waste gets into our groundwater. And so basically you're drinking the residuals of other people's pharmaceuticals, which I find especially disturbing. And then the last image I have here is your cleaning products, of course, full of hazardous chemicals that can cause tremendous issues, lung issues, cancer, skin irritations, allergies, and especially bad for children and for pets. My slide is being a little sticky here. Oh, okay, so it might not be going on there. Okay, I'm going to come back. I think I had a problem with my slides and with me. So here I am. So it's so nice to see you. And I just wanted to share a little bit of a presentation for you and just give you an idea of what I think a spring cleanse can do for you. I think that they are just beautifully nurturing periods of time in your life where you can really tap into your body's true wellness potential. I'm going to be offering a spring cleanse. It's a 21-day program, and I'm filling it with lots of love and lots of attention. I'm going to be sharing, well, first of all, I want to know what you need. So we'll be talking about how I can best serve you. It's going to be a group program, but there'll be components of it that are highly individualized. So if you need some help sleeping, if you need some help controlling binge eating, if you're uncomfortable in your body and you want to get more exercise, I'm going to make this something that's going to be suitable for everybody. But every day you'll be getting affirmations from me to help you with your intention for the day. We'll be meditating together. We'll be sharing some movement videos with you, and I'll be checking in, of course, on how you're doing with the meal plan. It's a 2-week meal plan. The first week is an elimination diet, and it sounds a little severe, but it's lovely. An elimination diet simply means that there are foods that are triggers for a lot of us that cause indigestion, gas, and bloating. Maybe they cause you some of that body pain that we talked about before. And maybe there's other issues that you're having with your skin. And they're subtle. Sometimes you don't understand that it's from your food because the issue doesn't show up for a day or two after you've eaten. So again, the elimination diet is we're cutting out things like soy and dairy and nuts. For me, I always cut out animal proteins. And you just fill your plate with beautiful foods of the season that are simple to prepare and easy to find. The second week is all about bringing those foods back in. So one day at a time, one food at a time, you make the entry back into your diet. And it's interesting, all of a sudden you'll say, hey, I didn't know I had a sensitivity to soy. And so as you finish up your cleanse, you'll start to realize that there are some foods that your body just does not want to tolerate. So that's just one part of the cleanse. I think that there's a great opportunity for you to learn some new tools, use some new resources, and that they may find their way into your life after our 21 days. I'm taking 21 days because I feel like it takes a little bit of time to get your head in the game before you start that elimination diet. And then I'd love to give you some time to transition out of it. And we'll talk about how you can incorporate some of these things into your life when we're finished. I think it's a great opportunity to cleanse that liver, keep your body happy and healthy. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to take a quick look. It's really tricky for me to see if there is any comments, so please be patient with me. I'd love to hear from you if you have anything that you want me to do for you, anything I can help you with. Let's see if I can just get on Wendy Says really quick. I'd love to know what your plans are when you come back into your life after having done our time at home, and just to see if there's things that you have learned about yourself during this time. Hi, Julie. I see Julie's there. So if anybody has any comments, I would just love to hear from you. Julie's been on a lovely mission, and she just looks beautiful, and I can see that she's happy in her body, and I just wish you all the best, Julie. I just love and adore you. She's going to be making some really big changes here pretty soon. But please send me a little note. I'm going to be checking up with the replay, so if you don't catch this live, please make sure you get in touch with me and leave me a little bit of a note. Tinkerbell says hi. It must be her dinner time. I'm going to go ahead and bid you farewell, send you lots of love, and please let me know how I can help you, and I'll look for your inquiries about the cleanse.